Welcome back. This is Excel template number 46 from Indzara.com, and this is about an employee leave tracker or a vacation tracker Excel template. You can download this template for free from Indzara.com, and this template is for a HR manager or a small business owner or a project manager or a team leader who is responsible for managing the vacations taken by the team members, so that you can have a better understanding of the capacity of your team in the upcoming month, or in general just to have a simple tool to track and keep count of the vacations taken by each of your employees. Then you can use this simple Excel template to do that. You can use this template for any number of years as long as you would like, by just adding more and more data, and then so that all the data for your company and for your team will be in one file. In this video, I will do a demo of how the template works so that you can see the different features in the template. Now let's go to the demo. So I have opened a copy of the template with some sample data filled in so that I can illustrate the features. You can download both the sample data file as well as an empty file for you to enter your own data, both from the same place on Indzara.com, and this link will take you to that page, which has a lot of additional documentation and screenshots and video tutorial. Now we are in the settings sheet of the template, and in this sheet there is a link to Excel tables article. If you're new to Excel tables, I would definitely recommend reading this because we use Excel tables for data entry in this template. A simple set of instructions on how to use it. It's very, very easy. To begin with, we have about 5 leave types that we can enter in this template. So I have filled in some 5, and I have assigned a day value to each of those 5 leave types. So this can be used to count partial vacations or partial leave by employees. For example, I created a leave type called half day and I put 0.5. And this allows me to track if an employee takes not the whole day but half a day, then I can use this type of leave. And for example, if the employee takes the whole day, then I can use day value of 1. So enter up to 5 leave types and then assign a day value. If you don't deal with partial leave in your company, then just put 1 in the day value column. You can choose the weekend days in your organization. So by default, what happens when you choose weekends would be, we will highlight those weekends on the calendar, which we will see shortly, as well as calculation of working days will be taking this into account. So the weekend days that you select here will not count as working days. So if I select Saturday and Sunday, then those two every week will not be counted as working days. Similarly, holidays can be entered here, and then you can enter more and more in this list here. And these holidays will again not be counted as working days when we later look at some calculations. So this is the simple 3-step input in the settings sheet. The next thing we do is to go to the employee sheet and enter the employee data. So we enter the employee name and the start date. So this date is the date when the employee began employment. And this is important because we may have teams where new employees may join the team, and also existing employees may leave the team. So it's in order to have the template be very dynamic and automatically taking into account new employees and employees leaving, it is important to enter both the start and the termination date wherever it's applicable. So in this case, employee 16 left the team on 15th November 2016. So then when we look at this employee's vacation calculations, the template will know that it should not take any more, it should not calculate anything after 15th November. Okay, so this, you can enter the list of employees. By default, the template supports 30 employees, and I'll talk about that later in this video. And then the leave is the sheet where we enter the actual leave data. So employee name, the leave start date and leave end date. So for example, employee 1 took the days off from 10th January to 15th January, and the type of leave was vacation. And this is the set of 5 options that we had set in the settings sheet. So you can keep entering more and more leave as employees are taking new days off or planning to take off in the future. Just enter the employee name, enter the start and end date, and then choose a leave type. This is all the data entry that is to this template. Very, very simplified data entry. All the calculations are automatic. So now when we go to the team dashboard, this is what it looks like. And we have two inputs here. Basically, we can choose the month by selecting the year first and then choosing a month within that year. And then when you choose the month, the calendar will now represent only that specific month. And let me put it back to November, where I have entered a lot more holidays and vacation. So in this case, all the 30 employees for November, it'll show their attendance / leave. So the 5 colors represent the 5 different leave types. Purple represents a holiday, so November 25th we have recorded as a holiday. And the darker gray would be the weekends, and so these would be the weekends. And then the not employed is the date when the employee was no longer employed. And so here for employee 16, you can see that after the 15th of November, it is shaded as not employed. And accordingly, the calculation for the worked days will also automatically be correct. The not applicable applies wherever, for example, this is November, so we don't have a 31st of November, so the 31st column will actually be NA. And if I choose another month, for example, if I choose December, then 31st is actually applicable, so it will not show NA. And so that is how the legend should be interpreted and the color should be interpreted. And if there is an overlap, for example, if there is a holiday during the weekend, then holiday is the #1 priority. So holiday comes first, then the weekends, and then after that, the leave types. If an employee is taking leave during a weekend, then, or including a weekend, then the weekend days will not be counted as, leave. So it'll correctly detect that and calculate that. So here we have the summary of vacations, or these 5 different leave types are summarized for that specific month for each employee. And we also can see the total leave days taken and total number of days that were worked by the employee. And this sheet can be easily printed. So when you go to print, you will see that the first sheet will be the calendar view. And then you go to the second page, you will see the summary for each employee, all ready to go. So you can just hit file print, or you can do export and export it to PDF. So this is the team dashboard. And let's say you are managing a team and you are interested in knowing how many days of work will I be having as capacity for my team next month. So then what you could do is, let's assume that we are at the end of October and we are looking at November, and I want to know what is my capacity for my team. Then you can look at this and say, this is the number of worked days, meaning the days that your team is currently scheduled to work in the next month. And you can use that from a capacity calculation perspective. Okay, now let's move to the last sheet, the employee report. This is similar, but this looks at one employee for the entire year. So for example, you can look at this is 2016, you can choose a specific employee and it will show that employee's vacation data or leave data across the entire 2016. There is an end date. This is automatically set to today. As you can see here, equals today. And that is because the today calculation will automatically make sure that the data you look at here is as of today, as of the date here, and any future date. For example, today is November 29th, and anything in December will show as not applicable, and you will not have any calculation for December, which makes more sense. And the November will also be only through November 29th, so November 30 will not be part of the calculation here. So now otherwise the colors work the same way, and then you'll see every month listed here, and then on the right we have the summary, and here it is summarized by the 5 types of leave and total leave and the worked days. Here we have the monthly summary, and at the top you have the annual yearly summary. Okay, so now the print again works the same way. You can print the calendar, or you can print the the summary by month and by year. So this is all the template does by default. Let's do a quick wrap up. You do enter the settings by the type of leave, customize the weekends, customize the holidays, enter your own employee data, enter your leave data, and then see them visualized on a dashboard across all the employees, as well as look at one employee at a time, and you can print this and share this with the employee if needed. And now let's talk about a few different ways you can extend this template. For example, let's say you don't need 5 leave types. So what you do is you can select the ones you don't need. Let's say I only need 3. So I can select the 4th and 5th, right click, delete table rows. This would remove the leave types, and you will only have 3 to use. I'm going to undo because I have some data for the 4th and 5th leave types in this file. Now, the other thing which is interesting is when you have employees, when you're entering the employee data in the leave table, for example, I don't see the drop-down menu here, but I see the drop-down menu here. That's because this row 61 is not still part of this table. So if you can definitely type your employee name directly here, and there is no problem. You can enter that, it will work. But if, let's say, you don't want to do this, you want to use the drop-down menu all the time, then what I would suggest is to do this, extend the table like this, and now when you go in, the drop-down menus would work. So this is one way you could create the drop-down values in the employee. But when you extend the rows, make sure that you don't do it for a lot of rows at a time. Don't do it for thousands of rows at a time. Just do it for 10 or 15 or 20 rows at a time, and then you can keep extending it as you want. Okay, so now let me undo that and go back to the other option of changing colors. So this is critical. I'm pretty sure the colors are personal preferences, and your company may have some brand colors as well, so you may want to just use those colors. And so the way to use that would be to go and do the control the conditional formatting rules. So you can go to this worksheet, and now you see all the different rules applied. So this is where we control the not applicable, not employed holiday colors. If I want to change the holiday colors, hit edit, hit format, and then you can now change the fill color to something else, and that will replace purple as the holiday color. And similarly, scroll down, and then you will see the 5 different leave type colors that I've used, and you can click on any of that edit rule and change the color. This is how you can modify the colors used in this sheet. If you have to, if you're changing it, you would again have to go to the employee report and go and do the same step again to change the colors, because even this sheet uses colors. And so make sure that you do it in both sheets. And if you want to add any additional calculations or so, you're welcome to do so. I mean, if you need to add, let's say, a calculation that says what is the attendance percentage for the employees. So what I'm going to do is to equals, let's say, worked days divided by leave plus worked days. So this will add or give me a percentage of attendance percentage for each employee in this chosen month. So this is how you can easily extend this template and extend the functionality by adding more calculations as you need. Some of these things are, of course, formulas that are built in, so you will not be able to modify them. If you do want to modify them and do something on your own, definitely welcome to do that. Go to unprotect sheet, type in the password Indzara, and then now you will be able to edit the formula. So this is how you would do it. Anytime, my recommendation is if you do make changes, please go back and do the, put the password back on so that you don't make any changes unintentionally to some formulas or somebody else makes unintentional changes. So definitely protect it after you make the changes. Last thing I want to cover is if you have more than 30 employees, how do you expand it? So my recommendation is to select this 29th employee row. It won't let me do it now because it's protected. So the first thing I want to do is to unprotect the sheet before I do this. So after I select this 29th row, Remember that I'm only selecting the cells here, not the entire row, from column B to column AO. Now I'm going to just click this and drag to, let's say I want to go to here. And now what's going to happen is it's going to update, remember that there is a lot of calculations in this template, so it does take 1 or 2 seconds to update all of them. But what I have done now is expanded the calculations to accommodate more than 30 employees. And then if you want to put a border at the last one to say, give me a bottom border. So now this looks like this. So now these cells, okay, you can see here they have formulas, and these formulas would work correctly, and also the conditional formatting, the colors will also work. Since I have not entered, let me just enter employee 31, employee 32, and let's go back to the dashboard. You can see that the 31, 32 both are here. The colors have come through for those cells as well, and the calculations in terms of the number of work days and everything works. So this is how you can extend the template to more than 30 employees. And you go to print, it will show up, it may not show all the rows, so you need to modify the print. If you're interested in printing, then you want to make sure that you change the print layout and accommodate the additional rows that we have entered. So now you can see the employee 31 and 32. So try this out. I mean, it should be pretty easy to extend it to more than 30 employees by this simple approach. So this is all the template is about. And so if you have any questions about this template or any suggestions about vacation tracking or leave tracking, please let me know in the comments, and I look forward to your feedback. Thank you very much for watching this video.